11 minutes of nonstop news, your Weather Authority forecast, and SWX sports headlines. This is NBC Right Now, local news, 11 at 11.
A sad story tonight. 2 kids found dead in a Kennewick home this evening. Has police asking questions tonight. Thanks for staying up with us. I'm Meredith Boggs. We begin with a tragic story in Kennewick. 2 kids found dead by their stepdad at their home on the 8600 block of West 3rd Avenue and South Kansas Street. Kennewick police tell us when they got to the home around 5 p.m., they found the bodies of a 16-year-old girl and a 12-year-old boy inside the home with a handgun found nearby. Between the kids, officers say there were multiple gunshot wounds. However, it has not been made clear if one or both of the children suffered multiple gunshots. Right now, police are interviewing family members and canvassing the neighborhood to see if neighbors saw anything out of the ordinary.
There was a handgun found at the scene nearby, and right now we don't know what all happened, but we are investigating. We're waiting for the WSP crime lab to arrive to help us process this scene. We're talking to neighbors to see what they may have heard or seen this afternoon, but right now it is a tragedy.
Police say there are no suspects right now and no signs of forced entry into the home. Investigators will be at the home for the rest of the night, hoping to get some answers. We'll continue to follow this investigation and bring you any new information as we get it. We're waiting for details in a death of Oregon tonight. Right now, Umatilla County Sheriff's deputies are questioning a man accused of murdering his girlfriend. Around 8 this morning, the sheriff's office answered a call from a person who claimed his friend, 30-year-old Daniel Lee Smith, said he killed his girlfriend. Deputies went to Smith's home on Leeser Avenue, but Smith wasn't home. However, deputies did find the body of a woman on his property. Smith was eventually tracked down in Stanfield. The woman's name hasn't been released. New details on a developing story. Headlines. The man involved in Sunday's deadly shooting in Las Vegas racked up several convictions in Benton County more than a decade ago. 31-year-old Jared Miller and his 22-year-old wife are accused of killing 2 police officers and 1 civilian. Afterwards, Amanda Miller shot her husband several times, then killed herself. Kennewick School District records show Jared Miller attended Kennewick High School for 1 semester during his freshman year in 1999. He also has an extensive criminal history in Benton County. The Washington State Patrol says Miller was convicted of stealing a vehicle and several other offenses, including phone harassment, driving under the influence, and mischief, all between 2001 and 2003. But now investigators are focusing on what the Millers' possible motive was for the shooting. Officers say they found volumes of written and printed racist and anti-government literature in their apartment. Neighbors told investigators they believed Jared Miller had a desire to overthrow the government and to kill police officers. Police say the Millers shot and killed 2 police officers. They were sitting down for lunch on Sunday, and then Amanda Miller killed another man. Today, the Selah School District performed their first ever active shooter drill. The situation at Selah Intermediate School involved a parent angry over custody of their child. The shooter, played by an actor, entered the school with a gun and pretended to shoot the principal. The specifics of the drill were only known to a few individuals before it actually started.
Nobody likes to think that something like this would ever happen anywhere. But all you have to do is look at the news and know it does happen. We need to be ready. We need to have our people ready.
The Selah School Superintendent says this drill was put in place in direct response to the recent school shootings in Sandy Hook and elsewhere around the country. New at 11 tonight, an explosion seriously injures 2 men in Walla Walla. Police believe the 2 men, 60-year-old Johnny Ray Johnson and 32-year-old Thomas McCarthy, were in the basement of a home on Chase Avenue trying to extract marijuana, causing the explosion. The process involves the use of butane, which is extremely flammable. Both men were taken to a Seattle hospital with 2nd and 3rd degree burns. 2 kids and a woman were inside the house at the time of the explosion. They were not hurt. Well, firefighters are still looking into what sparked a $1 million fire overnight. The fire happened near Grand Equipment Shop along the 3200 block of Old Inland Empire Highway. The fire started around 11:30 last night, destroying all the equipment the owners use for the family grape orchards. We're told that dispatch had to call for directions and clarification because it's a Prosser address, but the property is located in Yakima. By the time firefighters even got to the flames, 70% of the shop was in ruins. The fire did start inside the building at the back of the shop, but it's not yet known what exactly sparked the fire. Yakima firefighters are investigating an afternoon fire that destroyed a home. Firefighters responded to reports of an explosion inside of a house on Willow Street. Now, they were able to put the fire out quickly, and luckily no one was hurt. Firefighters believe the fire started in the living room. A Yakima couple made some changes after they were the victims of an armed robbery last night. Late last night, the Mocha Tree coffee stand was robbed by a man who claimed to have a gun and appeared intoxicated. Now take a look at this. The owner of the stand showed us the video of the robbery in hopes that someone can identify the robber. The robber knocks on the back door, enters the store, and starts threatening employees. You can even see him holding a large rock behind his back. He then takes the money in the cash register and makes the girl working the store take down a camera, but it's too late because the camera gets a of the man's face. Well, a prank caller in Kennewick has been in and out of jail lately, accused of making dozens of emergency calls to dispatchers since December.
911, where's your emergency?
2105 North Step 10 with the gun in the front.
911, where's your emergency?
Trailer 28, 2105 North Step 2. There's a girl trying to stab me.
The caller, Curtis Simmons Torres, made at least 26 calls over a period of about 4 months. CCOM manager James Barber says even if dispatchers think it's a prank call, they have to take it seriously.
We have to treat every 911 call as if it's the real thing. We don't know any different. We can't discount a call because we think it might not be real.
Torres is listed as an inmate right now on the Benton County jail roster, apparently for unpaid fines and a warrant out of Franklin County. He was also previously charged with several counts of wrongful use of a telephone. More law citations. The click it or ticket numbers are in, and the numbers of citations are up. Between May 19th and June 1st, officers all across the state have been cracking down on unbuckled and distracted drivers. In Benton and Franklin counties, 136 seatbelt infractions were written, in addition to 43 cell phone tickets. That's up from 72 seatbelt and 43 cell phone violations from last year. In Yakima County, there were 76 seatbelt violations and 30 cell phone tickets. That's 5 and 23 respectively. These extra patrols are part of the Target Zero campaign. The intersection of 45th and Olympia in Kennewick has seen its fair share of road work already this year, and that traffic flow is now dangerous territory. The current gravelly roundabout at the intersection is a tight turn, and semi-truck drivers know it. They now head down 42nd and up Kent, where Brenda Vanderpool lives in what she says used to be a kid-friendly neighborhood. She's already called the city to voice her concerns.
Certainly the little children in this area ride their bikes in. We try to teach them safety and to watch for cars, but at the speed that some of these vehicles are going, they wouldn't have a chance, honestly, if they were to pull out in front of some of these vehicles.
The Vanderpools did get in touch with Kennewick police on Friday. Now, they were told a traffic officer would be in contact with them and come to inspect the area. According to the family, as of tonight, they're still waiting. Traffic alert tonight. If your daily commute takes you down Burton Boulevard in Pasco, you may want to give yourself some extra drive time. This week, crews will be working on the storm drain system and installing new street light poles, and the eastbound outside lane of Burton will be closed from 7 in the morning to 6 at night during the week. Once that work is finished, crews will move to the other side of Burton Boulevard.
Well, time now for our first check of what's going on with that weather out there, and we generally now over the northwest. High pressures over the region. We've seen a few weak disturbances kind of push some moisture through the area, and that moisture has generated high winds around the region. You can see here no showers over the top of us, and we're going to stay dry. But the bad part is we're so dry, and with gusty winds, we have red flag warnings coming up again for tomorrow. High fire dangers around the region. A little on the breezy side as we go through the next couple of days. And minutes, we'll talk about some changes in that extended outlook. Now it's your Leadoff Sports with Greg.
Thanks, Tim. In the leadoff spot tonight, the Mariners finished their road trip 6-1 with a big W over Tampa Bay. An easy 3-0 win today over the Rays, and they complete their road trip in style. Selah has now won 8 of their last 9 games. They're just a game behind the Angels in the American League West standings. Locally, the Tri-City Dust Devils hit the field for their first official practice of the season today. They'll open the season on Friday in Boise with the home opener next week against Everett. We'll hear from the players and coaches right back here tomorrow night. Well, coming up in sports, I've got Mariners and Yakima Valley Pippins highlights, more from the first day of Dust Devils practice, NHL playoffs, and more. All
right. Thank you, Greg. Well, some good news tonight. It's been a long road home, but a Marine from Hermiston is finally back home. We first told you about Corporal Casey Allison back in February. Casey lost his right leg underneath his knee and 2 fingers on his left hand when he stepped on an IED. Casey's had 20 surgeries and he's even had to relearn how to walk. But tonight he flew into Pasco with his wife and his 6-month-old daughter. When they landed, they were greeted by family and several Patriot riders.
It's great. I love, being from a small town like this. Everybody can get together and do stuff like this for somebody. It's amazing. It really is.
Casey and his family headed to Boardman tonight to stay with his grandparents. And first thing in the morning, he's heading to a cabin in Heppner to relax and have some fun. After a short vacation, Casey will head back to rehab in Southern California for about another year. Well, that's your first 11 minutes of news, weather, and sports. Coming up next, fear not, bargain hunters. There are many ways to save money this month. We'll have a list of the bargains unique to the month of June right after the break. If you're a bargain shopper like myself, you don't just look at the weekly ads, you also look at the calendar. Every month has its own unique sales and discounts. So what's hot in June? Bob Hansen explains what you may want to buy in June and what you may want to skip.
Places like Home Depot and Sears can be a good place to shop in June, not necessarily because of summer projects, but because of some selective June discounts. Paint often goes on sale in June.